Great. Thanks everyone for waiting around to join us tonight. And welcome to the Autumn Cruise week seven of Waterdeep Dragon Heist. This is great. So yes, thank you for joining us here tonight. We are the Autumn Crew. This is Variant Roles, and we're going to play some D&D tonight. Although we are down a couple of players due to crappy internet connections in in New Mexico. So I am your host, Dan Gaston, at MadSciDM on Twitter. But enough about me. Let's talk to our friends, because they're way cooler and more interesting than I am. How are you doing tonight, Knox?
I'm doing good. I just finished off air telling these fine fellows that I'll be flying tomorrow. So anyone that sees this as of original air date, November 15th, cheer me on Twitter at Nox Noctua, because I have a severe flight anxiety, and I will need all of the support I can get for my flight to Seattle and my flight back home.
We will be sending you all the love.
Yes, send me all of your emoji hearts. Besides that, what you can see today is that I am I'll be spiritually petting cats on the plane for sure. But tonight I'll be playing Dahlia, the yes, I would love cat photos, Alex. Thank you. I'll be playing Dahlia, the Eladrin Bard. I was MIA last session, as was Dahlia, so it'll be fun to jump back in here and see what kind of shenanigans these two schmucks got into.
Yeah, I think
all the shenanigans.
She will be jumping in right in the thick of it as my cat Ella roams all over the place. She's the unofficial stream mascot. All right, Matt, how about you?
Hey y'all. Ready to get started tonight. Nothing new going on really. All right, getting ready for the holidays. And I'll be playing Styx tonight, and we'll see what we can get into tonight.
Okay, excellent. And Ryan.
Hi, I'm Ryan. I'm playing Thindrit Boneforge, the Doc. Yeah, that's who I am. The Forge Cleric. And we have quite a bit of catching up to do and running all over the city. So
excellent. Oh, okay, just 1 second, because I have to open my door so my cat can exit. Although I don't know what she's going to want, because no one is down there to feed her. All right, so jumping right in, when we left off last week, you had begun investigating a massive fireball explosion that happened right outside of your tavern, which has a glorious name. Actually, only the acronym of it came up last week, but it is what? It is Autumn
Draft and Donuts.
Draft and Donuts, because of course beer and donuts. So it is, the tavern is AD&D. Perfect. Excellent. I love it. So yes, you investigated this explosion. It became apparent that some creature called a Nimblewright was involved, as was a necklace of fireballs. Many people were killed and injured. You recovered the necklace of fireballs, had some discussions with the Watch. You're under a little bit of suspicion, because of course you are. But did find some information which you followed up with the Temple of Gond. Found that a Nimblewright there was lonely and kind of making itself friends. This friend went rogue, maybe, about a month ago, left the temple. And so that's your kind of lead at the moment. And you recovered that is an excellent mug. Mine is empty. You recovered or were gifted a Nimblewright detector. So you have this small device that looks kind of like a Doctor Who's sonic screwdriver, but with an umbrella attached. And anyway, it will detect Nimblewrights within 500 feet. And it's sort of a mechanical, magical device. So that is pretty much where we left off. And then you guys returning back to Trollskull Manor, otherwise known as AD&D, to recoup, regroup, and decide what you are going to do. So that is, well, I suppose where we will pick up, I can't talk today, is with the return of Dahlia. So, Dahlia, it is at this point about just after noon. So very early in the afternoon, about 1 or 2 o'clock, when you return to Trollskull Alley.
Mm-hmm.
So what you would see is, a mostly normal, busy business day. But right outside your door, the pavement, or I guess the cobblestones, are kind of like turned up, scorched. There's an obvious explosion. There is scorch marks on the outside of your building, and a large number of the windows on that street side have been blown out. There's no bodies. Those have all been removed. And there are probably still City Watch milling about, talking with your neighbors, but they're not present in high numbers.
Okay. I am going to, as I'm walking back, I think I've left the Summer's Night. I have to remember the name of my place in addition to our little place of business. I think I've left the Summer's Night, which is where I stayed. And I've come back with like a bag of like fresh, clothes and other items that I might keep at AD&D. You said it's just art, so no more the City Watch are milling about anymore?
Yeah, there's probably just, it's the aftermath. The kind of main investigation has wrapped up and finished, but there's probably still, not like you wouldn't see a watch person coming through here anyway, because it's the North Ward, so there's a lot of watch around, but, a little bit heavier presence than normal.
Okay. As I'm walking through, I'm holding on to the strap of my pack with both hands and just kind of keeping my head low, so that my hair kind of like falls forward and covers my face and shields it. I'm just gonna head to the front door and, knock knock, push it open, in the main like tavern area.
All right, and so I would imagine that Styx and Doc are in the tavern, in the main room, as well as a number of goblins from the Grumble. So for our new viewers, this group has befriended a large number of goblins who are living in Trollskull Manor. The youths are getting trained in valuable life and job skills, and we have decided that the collective noun for a group of goblins is a grumble. So there's about a dozen sort of like teenage goblins, basically, who comprise the grumble. Only one of whom is named, that is Bent. But we would happily solicit inventive, but family friendly-ish names, nothing like gross, from chat. So feel free to nominate names for the grumble as we play, and I'll keep an eye on them for inspiration, and they may or may not get used. So yes, Docs and Styx, you're in the common room when Dahlia comes in. The Brosfeather siblings have kind of like disappeared, muttered something about family engagements, and Thaddeus kind of pulled Emmeline off, and they sort of disappeared.
Of course, they'd get suckered into having to go home at a time like this.
Oh yeah, it's inevitable at times when they end up disappearing. I wish they were around though.
Oh yeah, that's what happens when you, depending on the parent's purse, I guess. But
I walk over to where you two are at and put my, kind of swing my bag around and put it on the table. And when I speak to you guys, I don't look to meet your eyes. And my posture is also different. So, when a really tall person isn't comfortable with their height, that's kind of how I stand. And, still wearing similar clothing. But my hair has changed. It's still the same length, but now it's more of a bluish color, bluish purplish, and my skin likewise has changed to a blue shade. And I kind of look out from under my eyes at the destruction of the shattered windows. What happened?
That's what we're.
Dahlia, is that you?
Yeah.
Now,
Okay.
is this something that Docs may have seen, or has he just seen 1 or 2 seasons?
I think Doc's been privy to preview at least all of them because he's been the one to escort her out, and she may have been in whatever state.
And our friendship runs deep, so. Okay. Hey, Dahlia. Good to see you. Wish this is better greetings, but we're trying to figure out what's going on. You saw the scorch marks. There were bodies out there too. So, yeah, about a dozen or so.
People died?
Yeah.
We tried. I tried. The dead on impact. We figured it out. We found a necklace of fireballs nearby. Must have been the cause of it, but we're still trying to track down who threw it.
There was a gnome right at the blast area that looked like he'd gotten singed. He had some jewels on him. The watch is all over us. There's this thing called a Nimblewright that may have been involved in this. We went down to the temple. We didn't find out a whole lot of information, but we did get this, and I hold up the detector and said, see? So this is supposed to help us find it.
Mm-hmm.
And probably when you guys are sort of somberly kind of relaying what has happened, the Grumble is dancing around the room and tugging on Dahlia's clothes and excitedly just babbling, excited teenagers about the things that have happened. You don't really catch much. They're talking very fast in somewhat more fluent common over the last couple of weeks. They've, picked up some, idioms and things like that here and there. And Bent is jumping up and down trying to grab the Nimblewright detector.
Oh.
No. Bent, relax.
Bent like magic.
Relax.
Bent like magic.
Yes, Bent, but we need this for right now. Maybe when we get finished.
Bent do this. And Bent sort of makes a gesture, and one of the shutters closes.
Very
Hey,
good.
that's good.
Very good, Ben. Very good. Hey, Ben, you said you like magic. You also, have you seen any magic puppets running around? Have you guys, you or the Grumble, seen any in the sewers, or just running around shiny little puppet man?
And the Nimblewright's actually the size of a regular human.
Never mind then.
Yeah.
Shiny human.
Yeah. The reference to them being kind of like a puppet is just that they're made of wood and metal.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, that could have been clearer for sure.
No, you're fine. They did say it looked like a man, but a marionette-sized man, or a man-sized marionette. There.
Yeah, like a man-sized marionette, exactly.
Okay.
So Bent thinks for a minute and goes, "No, not in sewer.
Where?
Things like puppets in parade.
Okay. Would you mind asking your friends too? Maybe. Oh, thank you.
Bent,
Yes.
Come here.
And Ben sort of shuffles over. Ben's got like big floppy ears.
Gonna kneel down and make make eye contact with them with like this really severe expression on my face. Magic kills people, Bent.
Magic help people?
Magic can kill people too. I just stand up and just leave it at that.
Ben sort of just like kind of hangs his head and is like thinking through this.
And just to try to like help soften that, we only practice good magic here, Bent. We'll teach you good magic. Now, would you mind talking with your friends?
Ben, help.
Thank you, Ben. And just kind of gesture for Dahlia to sit if she wants to join us, or.
Do you still have the drow?
We well, I don't. I think he'd still be down in the sewers. What do you think, Styx? You don't think they picked him up this fast, do you?
It's probably been a couple of hours.
I would almost bet that he is. I mean, we can go check.
Yeah, probably wouldn't hurt. Just a double check. So we'll mosey on down.
Yes, well, so you had found a place to stash him, sort of, a bit further away. But you had set a couple of goblins to watch him.
Oh, that's right.
That's
and
right.
So some of the goblins would be like, oh no, night elf, dark elf, pick up.
Okay.
Men in black, hood, take away.
Okay. Well, thank you for that.
He's gone. He's gone, Dahlia.
Sorry.
That's fine. Let me just go put my stuff up, and I'll come back down, and you just tell me what we're doing. Okay. And I head upstairs, drop my stuff off, and come back.
All right. So, what is your folks' plan? You talked a little bit, sort of, offline. You've got various ideas, and so of course there's a lot of stuff where we can summarize and narrate and montage the hell out of it, and do some good skill checks and various things. Cool. So what is your plan and sort of like the priorities, right? And I think it's best too. There's a lot of different things. If each of you kind of takes charge of one element of the things you kind of want to accomplish.
Okay. All right.
I think, go ahead.
Go ahead, Ryan.
I was just going to say on the docket was you visiting with your crew. We were going to cruise around the Sea Ward and the North Ward with the Dingle Hopper and just try to see what we can find as far as contacts go, and then kind of go from there, see where the evening takes us more so.
Yeah. I mean, that's the biggest thing we wanted to do is see if we can find out any more information about the Nimblewright, or at least any directions on where we could check for particular ones.
Oh, and Dahlia, the watch, when they had stopped by after the investigation, they insinuated that we were in cahoots with the Zentarum because it seemed like the gnome at the epicenter of the blast was on his way to our place, and I guess he may have been in ties with or something. Either way, there is that to wonder about why he was heading here, and also why someone pilfered something off his body after the explosion. So trying to give you a better idea of what's going on.
Well, it sucks for him.
Yeah. Mopey Dahlia, Got it.
All right. All right. So what do you guys want to do first?
Well, how about this? Maybe we charter a coach or a taxi or whatever, and just kind of slowly cruise, and then maybe we work our way down near the dock ward and drop you off sticks.
That sounds like a really good idea, actually.
Just as long as we're together, and then we just kind of slowly make our way. I mean, the thing only has a radius of 500 feet, so I mean the Uber rate on this might go a little higher than we planned, but we'll just put it on the Brass Feathers bill. So
yeah. So I mean, it's really just a matter of what you want. I mean, you can literally search the whole city ward by ward, right? On foot or whatever. It would just take a couple of days. Right. But I mean, it is possible. You can really take any approach that you want. If you want to try and get information to like narrow the search first, you can do that as well. It's totally up to you.
So you're trying to find these
Nimblewrights.
Nimblewright.
Okay. Does a person make them?
So the information that you have is that they are typically made. They could be made by any wizard, really, but the Lantanese are particularly well known for making them. That's how Nim, the Nimblewright, came into the possession of the House of Gone. They didn't make it; it was gifted to them. But that Nimblewright made a Nimblewright, which is one that is missing. But they're used as guards. They're used as like showmanship, because they're kind of expensive. So sometimes nobles buy them. So there may be, several in the city potentially.
Go ahead.
I mean, this is if you guys want to do this. It doesn't. And you just tell me. It doesn't matter. But my guild hall, we have a library of people, what they do. So if we need a starting point.
Mm-hmm. Since that'd be really good. Since we're short-handed, do we want to talk to the private eye down the street, Vincent Trench? See if we can't include her in on this.
That might be a good idea.
Mm-hmm. We could have her track down Nimblewrights, or who the gnome was. I don't know.
I think the gnome had something more to do with it than the Nimblewright in some ways.
So too. But yeah, we got two prongs on this. So maybe we talk to her, get a list of the Nimblewrights. I'm sure that's going to be a short list from what the Temple of Gone said.
Well, if they're that expensive, there's only going to be so many people in Waterdeep that's going to be able to afford these things.
Right. Yeah. And we could cross-reference that with Dahlia's information. That'd be helpful.
Yeah, that would actually be very helpful.
Yeah, I mean, you just tell me.
Let's go ahead and let's move on that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so who are you asking first?
Vincent Trench.
Yep.
At the Tiger's Eye.
Yep. So and so what are you asking Trench to do?
Well, kind of explain the situation from what we heard from Temple of Gone and see if they're willing to compile a list of Nimblewrights, of known Nimblewrights. At least kind of give us at least a starting point.
Well, I could do this, yes. This sounds like a job that could take some time. Is not necessarily so public. who owns and who does not. Many nobles, rich merchants, Waterdeep. But I can do this for you. No guarantee that it would be quick.
How long do you think it'd be?
There's a lot of investigation and asking questions and paying bribes. I expect normally my fee for simple jobs is about 50 gold. This, I suspect, take longer. Perhaps 100 gold for this job. I expect to take at least a week.
Well, I mean, it's not like, if you don't do it, that more buildings will blow up and more people will die and the city will be plunged into a state of chaos. And, if you take your time with it or anything.
Take a very dim view, but I suppose I could expedite, do quicker, or drop my other jobs. I had one come in just this morning. But if you wish this to take priority, 200 gold. I work quick, work on nothing else.
What do you guys think? Is this time sensitive or is it worth?
I'll offer him 150. What do you think?
If someone wants to offer 150, they can go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Right. I don't think I need to be the one making the persuasion check. Yeah, I don't need to be there.
If you tell Dahlia to offer him 150, they will, but they will not volunteer themselves. Dahlia just is standing there, like, looking mopey, hugging their arm.
Yeah.
Down,
Trench is just looking, sort of hands on his. Actually, no. Trench is definitely wearing essentially almost a trench coat with like a big floppy hat, and he is casually leaning against a wall smoking a cigarette because, given that borderline French accent I was pulling, he is definitely smoking a giant cigarette. So, do we have a deal or no? I have no desire to waste my time.
I kind of whispered to Doc, offer him 150 and see what we get.
Vincent, doesn't necessarily have to be your main priority, but let's see what would 150 get us.
All right, so go ahead and make a persuasion check.
17.
Okay. He takes a long, thoughtful drag. 150 gets you a quicker job. I work on some other things, but you're top of list. I come back a few days. Which we have.
I'm sure you've got a perfectly clean record too. Nothing in the guild halls of the respite workers to find that would, pull any sort of skeletons out of your closet or anything. So.
Oh, my line of work. Skeletons come with the job, yes, but with the respite workers, no, I have no quarrel.
Well, maybe, if we don't have to worry about the city plunging into chaos, then you'll continue to have no quarrel.
Like I said, 150. I get back to you in a few days. What I have, but you're top of list. Better than cheating husbands and philandering wives. A little bit more exciting.
Yeah, no, and we'll be able to hopefully get to the bottom of who's scruffed up our our alley. So little neighborly business, as it were. So yeah, we'll go ahead and shake on that. So.
Okay. He reaches out to shake your hand. Of course, half the payment up front, right? I have to spend money to make money, yes?
Of course.
All right. So that transaction done, Trench will begin to get to work. What is your next angle?
Oh,
All right. We need to head to the dock ward.
okay.
Yeah.
Is it worth? Do you want to come along, Dahlia, or do you want to stop off at the Guild of Respite? And we meet up with you later.
You tell me what you want me to do. Doesn't matter.
I'm going to check out some contacts I might have with my crew and see if they've got any information on any of the Nimblewrights that we may have seen that or they know of, because they do things that did a little different than I do.
Okay.
So yeah, let's plan on dropping people off at their respective spots, and then Doc will just kind of meander around, seeing what anything picks up along the way, just kind of killing time.
Okay.
I guess we'll agree to meet back at the tavern. What, 5, 7?
Yeah.
Dinner time, donut time.
Yeah,
okay.
Sounds good.
So you're going down to the dock ward. And is the plan to go to the yawning portal, or is it to like kind of go down to the dock ward, search the dock ward?
It's more along the lines of going meeting up with some of my crew that I work with from time to time and see if they know anything, and then kind of sliding by the yawning portal probably at some point.
Okay, and Doc?
Yeah. Actually, I guess while they're doing that, yeah, because we said Devil goes there in the evenings, right? So
yeah, that's
yeah.
when he does most of his business anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so probably one sticks there, and I'll go ahead and was it the I just kind of walk around the North Ward a little bit, around, kind of doing like a conch shell around the Trollskull,
spiraling out from Trollskull.
Yeah,
okay.
Just with the nimble finder.
Okay.
Just doing
all
that.
Right. So that sounds good. So you'll be doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And Styx is going down to the docks to press his contacts. And Dahlia, are you going to go sort of press your library of little black books?
Yeah, at Doc's instruction, I will go into our little library and see if I can find information on people that have made Nimblewrights, anything notable about them, using the information I know about what we're looking for.
Okay, all right.
Anthony's is something to search for too. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All them good deeds.
Yeah.
All right. So that sounds good. So Dahlia, why don't you go ahead and give me a intelligence investigation check?
All right.
And let's go ahead and say you have advantage on the check because you're familiar with how, it's not just any library, it's a very specific thing that you're used to searching.
Sounds good. Oh man, that was so close. Let's see. Investigation, right?
Yes.
Not super great. That's 14.
Not bad. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through kind of everybody to sort of get something relevant, and then I'm going to piece out kind of the bits of information everyone gets. So to keep it sort of bigger focus. So Styx, why don't you go ahead and describe for me your, just in general terms, your plan of, like the montage of how Styx goes about getting information,
All right. First thing I'm going to go by and stop by Big Jake's place, who's the guy I work for most of the time.
Okay.
Jake, I'm looking for a Nimblewright. Particular one. All right. They showed us a mark, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they did. He described a mark. Yeah. Didn't have a picture. He just described it.
Okay. And I kind of I tried to describe it to Jake. You seen one like this before? And while he's waiting, I figured a couple of the other guys would come in. Marco would probably, hey, Marco, check this out. Right. And then Jimmy. Okay.
Right. Okay.
So talk to those three and see what they know. And I figured Jimmy might know more information because he actually has a real day job. So he works as kind of like a pest control kind of guy.
Right. Okay.
And wanders, and he ends up in some of the bigger name client houses and stuff like that.
Okay.
Rat killing, stuff like that.
Okay, that sounds good. So this is going to be a little bit different. I think we're not so much leveraging. Well, we're kind of leveraging two things. One is, the accessibility of your contacts. Mm-hmm. So let's just go ahead and make a charisma persuasion check for that. Okay. How talkative people are to you today.
Well, that would be a 6. Not very.
Okay.
All right. Just do the 1 or do 2?
So that's that. Now what we're also going to have is, it's almost like you making a skill check for your people, right? So on their behalf. So it's like your contact group and what they're doing. So why don't we go ahead and we're going to do an investigation check as well. I'm going to say, this is not going to be using your stats though. We're going to give your crew an intelligence of 12. So that's +1 to your roll. And we're going to say that they are proficient. So like at the base level, so like a proficiency bonus of 2. So you're going to add 3 to your D20 roll.
Okay. That makes that a 22.
Okay. All right. So like people are a little grumpy with you. You're not entirely sure why. But they eventually talk and they have, some investigation. All right. And finally, Doc, you're doing like kind of a standard search procedure. And you actually almost don't need to make anything here, but I guess we'll just use to determine like how much of the North Ward around you get searched kind of effectively. So again, I think this is going to be an investigation check. And I'm going to go ahead and give you advantage because you're like operating on home turf.
Okay. All right. And you said advantage.
Yes.
So let's see if I can do better than an 18.
Huh.
That's an 8. So yeah, I'll stick with the 18.
Okay. All right. Excellent. So the bits and pieces you all sort of get independently in your searching, and we'll say this happens over basically the rest of the afternoon and kind of into the early evening, as then you would be leading up to your time for reconvening. So Dahlia, you found bits and pieces, various noble houses, like Nimblewrights have sort of come in and out of fashion essentially, and currently they're not so hot. A lot of nobles who've had them, there's bits and pieces in the rumor mill of your books about people who've sold them off. So you kind of get the impression that right now, not super popular, there might not really be that many in the city. And within your assessment of, say, the nobility and wealthier merchants, It just seems like people have kind of sold them off. It's been a seller's market, no, a buyer's market, as they've been selling them at fire sale prices. Sticks, you would have discovered, like, haven't seen any among the nobility. However, two of them have been seen on ships that are currently docked in the dock ward.
2 on ships.
2 on ships. And I will give you the names of those ships. Second. The Heartbreaker and the Hellraiser. And those ships are actually part of a trio. The trio is docked out in the harbor, not docked at the wharves. So I guess it's not docked, it's anchored out in the harbor. And it is called the Eye Catcher. These 3 ships are owned by someone named Zardos Zord, who runs a traveling carnival known as the Sea Maidens Fair. So he's got these 3 galleons. The Eye Catcher is the flagship out at Deepwater Harbor. So you know that there's a couple in the dock ward. Doc, okay. In your search, just one street over from Trollskull Alley. I need to zoom back in because my thing out. So on the street is called Saerdoun Street, and it is Saerdoun, because of course it is, because it's the Forgotten Realms. So Saerdoun, which is actually so the northern exit from Trollskull Alley goes on to Saerdoun Street, but it kind of like curves in a crescent through part of the North Ward. So kind of east of you on Saerdoun Street, where there is a villa, got like a 12-foot high wall around it. So one of the noble villas in the North Ward. Your detector went off.
Okay. I think I would probably pause and then see it, maybe do it like a stakeout a little bit. Wait maybe 15-30 minutes, and then if it's not moving, make a mental note or whatever, and then maybe continue, but periodically maybe doing a lazy circle back to that point to see if it's still there.
Right. Yeah, and so during the time you're out searching, kind of before you return to AD&D, the detector keeps going off when you pass by it, so the Nimblewright appears to still be there.
Okay.
All right. So that is the information you are all able to glean before reconvening.
We said we'd meet all back up at the tavern, right?
Yeah, so basically the camera was on a shot of you all montaging, so Dahlia tearing through books and scribbling madly notes.
That's really that's really nice of you to describe that way, because in my head what I imagine is
morosely
opens a book,
through
gets
books.
lost in their thoughts, and I remember that person and pissing away, and
yeah, that's right. I forgot with Winter Dahlia that it is probably a bit more of an introspective search where Dahlia occasionally has to reflect on the inevitable demise of the universe. And,
this person's gonna die soon, and I'm still.
Yeah. But maybe there's a large glass of wine and a fireplace or something, at least. And we saw Doc out searching and and all of that, and Styx questioning his people. I was initially hoping that Styx was going the thug route, and there would have been lots of like bashing faces into tables, but it was a much more civilized experience. But then we sort of
be a little bit of stabilized, you know.
Yeah, of course, and like the camera was cutting between everybody's search, you know, and doing various things before wiping and then refocusing on the common room of autumn donuts or drafts and donuts.
I imagine there's like donuts in the middle of the table.
Oh yeah,
Sitting
for
there
sure.
With a beer in hand and dunking a donut maybe in it.
Well, one of the grumble, a young goblin, kind of thin, but who was taken to the donuts quite well, named Dank, has come over with like with a giant plate full of freshly made donuts right out of the fryer, you know, freshly dusted and confectionery sugar and everything. And of course, Dank is in, you know, like an apron, and proudly comes over and deposits it in the middle. There's like, you know, bear claws and donuts and fritters. You know, the goblins have really taken to pastries.
Is Dank eventually gonna aspire to make us some Dank donuts too?
Dankin' Donuts. Dankin' Donuts. Nice.
I mean, that shit's legal up in your neck of the woods, man. So
it is entirely legal in my country.
Mm-hmm. In my country, man.
In my country.
I don't know what the equivalent
in my country we call it a toque and weed's legal.
Well, many states beat us to the punch. I don't know the legality of whatever the equivalent of weed is in Waterdeep. You know, Lord of the Rings has pipeweed, which, you know, you kind of suspect it's a little bit more intense than tobacco.
Yeah. The hallucinations with it. So
yeah. So maybe we'll just call it Waterdavian pipeweed. And Dank knows all the dankest Waterdavian.
Oh my god!
There's Waterdavian.
Now we know why he likes the donuts so much.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But I'm voting. It's not green. It's purple because why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
And so it should be purple. Yeah.
It doesn't smell like shit either, so that's helpful.
Oh yeah, it smells like very like. It's kind of like how people talk about hops. There's like floral notes. There's different varietals. It's
the normal of us. It just smells really pungent.
yeah. It's pretty amenable to baking with. So yeah, Dank's totally got some Dank donuts.
Okay, well that's canon. Cool.
That's canon now. Crumbles of goblins and Dank donuts.
And Dank donuts.
The thing.
Yeah. Great.
You're listening, Chris Perkins. It's done.
Yep.
Good job, Dank. These are your best batch yet.
Yeah.
Oh lordy.
So I'm sitting there, leaning back in the chair, you know, doing the self-hugging thing. I didn't find any specific names. All I could find was that people have been selling them off a lot. So whatever Nimblewright it is we're looking for here probably isn't with its original creator anymore.
That's what we were kind of. I was kind of suspecting that. I did find out that there are two of them out on the ships out in the harbor. It's those party barges that are out in the harbor. You know, the one called the Hellraiser, the Heartbreaker, and the Eye Catcher. So,
are those Sorry, are those
go ahead.
3 ships that you and Thaddeus saw when you talked?
I don't know. We saw them from the bottom side, so I don't really know. It could be. All right. Once we get out there, I could maybe know the general area, you know, and might have an idea if it was one of those things that we saw that thing, that what they called it, a submarine. No.
Yeah, a Lantanese submarine.
So yeah.
Okay. Well, very good. So this thing actually does work, and there's actually a Nimblewright in the villa across the way. Yeah.
Well, let's go check that one out now.
Yeah. It's just we have an identifying mark that we're looking for. If it's not that, then we can cross it off the list. Otherwise, maybe we can ask Fenton for our money back.
That's true.
Otherwise, I do think we could probably see if we can't still get a discount from Vincent by sharing this information with him. But anyways, you guys up for a field trip over to that villa?
Well, what are we supposed to do when we get there?
That's
Hey,
a good
can
question.
we check out your Nimblewright?
Right. We are our
Service
Nimblewright
call.
inspectors from the
Service call.
Service call.
Service call. We were checking on, or let's see. Yeah, we need to do like a service call or something like that, or
Do they get serviced?
We don't know. They may not know. Maybe we go under the guise that their warranty is about up, and we're doing one last minute checkup.
let's try that one.
I mean,
that sounds like the best one of I was going to do that, or pretend to be the city watch and we're investigating the explosion. We get caught doing that when we're going to
I was about to say impersonating a guard.
I don't want to go to jail.
That is definitely a crime.
If you're serious about the service call thing, I can forge us some papers that we could just give him.
Well, do you mind?
I am going to just read this real quick. I'm going to get up and find some paper and ink.
Okay.
And I'm going to use wait, hold on. For shits and giggles, I'm going to use illusory script.
Okay.
This might be overkill, but whatever. And
if we're doing something shitty, might as well do it to its fullest.
That's it. That's all right.
So I'm going to cast that as I'm writing on this piece of parchment, like sparkles are coming up off the ink as I'm writing in this. But something along the lines of dear hello. We are here to service your Nimblewright on behalf of the Lantanese Nimblewright Servicing Guild of where the Lantanese people come from again?
Lantan.
Lantan. We are required to service and check on all Nimblewrights after a certain amount of time. Thank you.
and so to remind everyone too, like this particular Nimblewright was made by another Nimblewright. It didn't come from Lantan. It was made by Nim, who was like trying to make friends.
Right. So
yeah.
in this case,
but whoever has it now might not know that. So
right. So yeah. It very well might be either hiding out or adopted.
And most of them do come from Lantan. So if someone just found it, they'd probably assume that it's Lantanese.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, shall we?
Let's try it.
All right.
Oh, and we grab a few donuts just to sweeten the pot.
Dahlia, why don't you go ahead and give me a dexterity check for your artistic forgery. If you're proficient in like forgery or something, you can also add that.
Okay.
I'll
Well,
go ahead and,
your performance might work with that one too.
Yeah.
Sure, absolutely.
I'll go ahead and, seeing that she's doing this, go ahead and cast guidance on her as well. Just like hand on the back and like, you're doing a fine job.
Oh no. Don't I have inspiration in here somewhere? Or did I already use it?
I don't think you used it, so.
Where the
You
heck
can
is
also
it?
roll a D4
And a D4 added to it from guidance.
or is it going to make a difference?
Oh, okay. All right. I'm gonna use inspiration then.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you had some left.
Okay, that's a little better. Jeez Louise. And then the D6 for guidance, right? Is it a D6?
D4.
Damn it.
I know. That's why it's a cantrip.
Okay, true. And what am I rolling again?
Dexterity.
Okay.
Dexterity, and then you can add your proficiency bonus from either like performance or if you're proficient in forgery tools, anything like that.
Okay. Well, I'm not proficient in forgery or anything like that.
Okay, but performance, if you're proficient in that, is fine.
Uh, 17.
17. All right. It is a pretty good. Pretty good.
Might be able to round up with those donuts. Nice solid 18.
All right. So you've got this, pretty official looking document. You had to guess on what the Lantanese, guild of artificers would, make, but it looks official, and you're used to seeing guild documents, so it seems reasonable for a Waterdavian guild. So you guys are making your way over to the estate?
I
Yes.
give the letter to Doc though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, so you make your way over to the estate. It faces out onto Ceridon Street. Like I said, there's basically this 12-foot high wall that kind of encircles it, with the building itself at the back, and there's a gate on Ceridon Street. So like a wrought iron gate,
Okay.
and it has a crest on it. And there is a sort of written on the crest is the word Gralhund, Gralhund, which as locals is one of the noble families of Waterdeep.
I really wish the Frost Feathers were here right now.
Oh, well, I don't know. This could be worse if they were here. They'd be recognized.
Oh, true. Very true.
So there's sort of like from the gate you can see that sort of the building and buildings kind of occupy. That flips around. Yeah. Oh no, that is north. The like sort of west and south bits of the property. Right, sort of like like an L-shaped building, and then the rest of the kind of northeastern part of the estate is taken up by like the lawn and stuff like that. So there is a gate, there is a wall, there is an estate. There are some lights on as it has come into evening. You actually see some like drift globes sort of float out from the estate and kind of rise up into the air and head down towards the city of the dead. It is something that happens nightly. All the drift globes in the city go and congregate in the city of the dead for a little bit.
Would I know anything about this person? Since I know who the movers and shakers are.
Possibly, yeah. So why don't you go ahead and give me, I guess just a general sort of intelligence check. With advantage on what you might know.
Alrighty. Wow, I am rolling like absolute trash tonight. Intelligence?
Yes.
That would be a big old 4.
All right.
With advantage?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So
The other one was a 1.
all right. So other than the fact that they are nobles, they're not, they're not super wealthy. They're not at the bottom. They're kind of, average-ish nobles, small family, and you don't really know much more about them than that.
All right, cool beans.
And so, yeah, there's some lights on in the street. There's some people passing by occasionally, but you're kind of just all standing outside the gate looking at this villa.
Okay, and is the nimble detector going off still?
So at the moment when you trigger it, not detecting a nimble.
Okay.
And
He moved. Okay.
Nimble mover.
So nimble on his feet. So, well, that begs the question, is it even worth knocking at this point since it's not going off?
we may get some information though.
True.
I mean, how do you even know it was inside?
Oh, yeah, because this is a big lot, isn't it?
Well, like given your searching that you did, sort of spiraling out and around, you absolutely it was on this estate.
Doc
Let's
says
just say-
Dahlia. Absolutely was on this estate. Psh, snap out of it.
And while you guys are standing there, Dahlia, you sort of catch, because it's faint from like the back sort of side of the estate, you hear someone yell from inside the building in pain. You just, over the traffic, it's not super loud, but your hearing is just acute enough that you hear someone yell like a...
How was that? Sorry, I didn't catch it the first time.
Wow.
Oh God!
Thank you, Dan.
Someone's choking on their
Thank you.
toothbrush.
Yeah, there's a definite gurgle in there.
I kind of, I think I heard somebody in there.
What do you mean? What did you hear?
I'm not sure. It didn't sound. It was somebody making a sound that didn't sound like they wanted to be making.
Okay, so it sounds like regardless if this is going off or not, we probably do need to go knock or at least make our way in. So with that information, go ahead and push on the gates, try to make our way to the estate.
And the gates are locked. So you push, and you can see like a big old lock right in the middle of the gates.
Could I force it?
Can certainly try.
All right.
So are you going to try and are you going to try and pick it or just try and like break it?
I'm gonna try to break it. Just push
All
it
right.
over.
Give me a strength athletics check.
All right. How about a 24?
So you're pushing on it and it's straining. You can hear the metal creaking, but that lock, it's creaking and it's pushing, but that lock stays firm.
I'm going to take a whack at it with my light hammer.
They're being very subtle here.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
you are on the
guys
street.
that we heard someone in need. So.
Okay. All right, so go ahead and go ahead and give me a attack roll.
Okay, so 11 to hit.
So it's one of those things like you kind of swing, but you don't really get a good solid blow square on the lock. It sort of glances off of it and clangs on the the metal rungs of the gate, which resonate. And certainly as you kind of glance over your shoulders, there's like someone down the street, looking kind of closely at what you're doing. About that time, there is the sound of breaking glass, You sort of glance up quickly and see a body getting like pitched through an upper floor window, which then like falls with a sickening crunch onto the lawn.
Wait a second,
Oh, God.
Dan. Hold on.
Oh, damn.
Hold on. How far away was that person?
From so like when it comes crashing through the window,
Yeah.
I can give you a quick estimate here.
For crying out loud.
The upper floor of those windows, if you're out at the gate, 40, 50. It's about 60 feet or so from like the gate to the window.
But
Wow.
like the trajectory, I mean, I don't even know if I can even act this quickly, but the
Yeah,
trajectory.
by all means, what do you want to do when sort of you hear the glass and see this body sailing out?
I would want to try to face step towards them and catch them.
Okay. I love this. I love it. So face step lets you go, what, like 30 feet?
It's just 30 feet, yeah, which is why I'm asking.
Okay. So I'm going to say
They get shot like a
absolute.
baseball.
Well, and so, I mean, you could face step and then move, right? And like maybe catch them.
Mm-hmm.
So I 100% approve of this plan. So, there's your reaction speed, catching it off, but you've got pretty good awareness. So I'm going to say the first thing is to go ahead and give me, well, let's just go with a straight dexterity acrobatics check.
And is this just to see if I can act in time or catch them?
No,
Or
this will be
something
for
else?
catching them. I think you're alert enough that you can get your spell off. And
Okay.
Is this something, I mean, just on a time thing, hearing that, is this something that, knowing this, that Doc could possibly like push and cast guidance and say go? Or is there not enough time?
so she's going to wink out pretty quick.
Okay.
And
But
I want to add that I don't think Doc could do this, and here's why. Because Doc and Styx need to make a wisdom saving throw.
oh yes, oh that's right.
Oh,
That
God.
is true.
What?
That is
Why?
true.
What?
They do.
What?
That is true.
No, what?
Although I think,
Okay.
yeah, because is it I don't remember if it's if you
I'll
have
tell
the
you.
choice on the effect or not. But yes,
I don't have the choice.
Okay, perfect. So yes,
So,
Docs
what'd
and
you guys
Sticks.
I got a 20 natural.
Oh shit! Good for you.
Womp womp womp.
I should have cast guidance on myself because
Oh, no.
that's a 5.
Oh.
Yes.
Perfect.
I think it's
Perfect.
gonna be-
Perfect.
I think it's gonna be interesting. Okay, so as I blink out, there's like this brief, like icy chill, but as I do that, like my skin becomes really translucent, as if I were becoming like just this like ghostly white, and my eyes turn completely pitch black, and my you can almost like see through to like the purple of my veins and the skeleton underneath, and I become this like this almost undead looking thing as I blink out. So Styx, you obviously are not too concerned with this. It's just like Dolly's being fucking weird again. But Doc, you are frightened.
And frightened of Dahlia, correct?
Yes, frightened of me for the next
Perfect.
6 seconds.
All right, so that'd probably be over with pretty quick, but still, I love it.
Yep, and then
Oh
I
my God.
poof out in the yard. And
Okay, perfect.
and I'm making a dexterity check.
Yes, Dex Acrobatics.
Okay, cool. Still rolling like shit. That's great. So that would be an 11.
Okay, so you kind of you teleport in 30 feet and then sort of like run forward, arms outstretched as this body is like kind of arcing and sailing out towards you. And as you're getting close, you see sort of popping into existence just above the falling body is one of these grapefruit-sized gazers, the beholderkin that you've seen sort of multiple times around. And out of one of its eye stalks, it sort of beams out a little bit of a cone-like effect for just a second on the body as it's falling, which halts its downward momentum just long enough, like, a fraction of a second, that lets you get closer. So when the body comes, it, like, you catch it, not very well, but it, like, smashes into you. But without that split second, I feel like you would have missed him. Like, you wouldn't have gotten close enough to catch him. But he does, unfortunately, like, smash into you. I'm going to get you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Cool. Okay. See if I just keep rolling like shit all night.
As you are attacked via defenestration.
Okay, the dice actually rolled that time. Cool. And I rolled pretty fucking good, so thank God. That's a 20.
Okay. So you're only going to take half damage from the impact. Which was a total of 11. So you're only going to take 5.
Jeez.
As the body sort of smashes into you. It takes all 11. And then, like, sort of flops onto the ground. And he's not dead, but he is unconscious.
Okay, and he's not, like, bleeding out or anything. Like, I don't need to try to stabilize him or something.
He-
Or I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on him.
Okay,
Nice.
perfect.
Because I forgot that I have that.
Nice.
Okay.
So I just like this, like, cool white, energy or whatever. It's like snowflakes or some shit. I don't know.
Perfect. I can envision too when he sort of like does that, like gasping, as he heals. Because I think healing magic doesn't necessarily feel great. Like your body is forced rapidly to heal.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of gasp a little bit, and sort of curls of, like chilled, icy breath kind of comes out of his mouth. And yes, he did actually have, like, he was gut stabbed, run through by a sword as well.
Oh, God.
And that sort of knits together. It's a human male with sort of, like grizzled, 5 o'clock shadow, piercing green eyes, very short, almost shaved hair, a little bit gray, kind of solidly built with black armor on, sort of black leather armor. And he's got a sword belt, but it's empty at the moment. And the same for where he would have had a dagger. So quickly, Doc and Styx, what are you guys doing as this is transpiring?
I'm going to try to hit that gate again one more time and see if I can get it to pop.
Okay.
21.
So it's the same thing, like you're pushing on it, and it is not breaking. You can see sort of around the lock a little bit of sparking of maybe arcane energy around the lock.
I was thinking it was probably magically locked. He gets 10 points back, by the way.
Perfect. Okay.
Mr. Dan.
And Doc, sorry, what are you doing?
Shoot, I don't have any like dispel magic. I mean, I could do a ritual identify.
I think we're going to just have to scramble over this wall, Doc. Come on. So.
All right, you're boosting me.
I'll boost.
Okay.
A little fastball special?
Not pretty much. It's going to end up being something like that. So.
Okay.
Yeah, so
how tall are the walls? Or
it's a 12-foot sort of stone wall. It's climbable.
Is the gate the same height?
Yeah, it is.
Of course it is.
It goes down almost to the ground.
Yeah. Okay.
But climbing over the gate, they're difficult in different ways, but it might be a little bit easier.
True.
If it's just a regular rod-on gate, let's just start climbing over the gate.
So, just out of curiosity, is this something that? No, well, sorry. I was reading through heat metal, and I was trying to think if I could just do this, but I think it's more.
You could, but it takes time.
Right.
You'd have to keep it up sort of long enough to be able to bend it, which you could do. It's a concentration spell, but that would at least take several minutes.
Yeah, just throw me over the wall.
All right.
Or as best, like trying to climb as best I can, but it's,
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to boost him up as high as I can, and then just try to toss him to the top.
Okay, so Doc, why don't you go ahead and make a strength athletics check with advantage for the help from Styx.
So with advantage.
Yes.
Okay. 17.
Okay. So he boosts you up, and stout dwarf that you are, even though you're quite heavy and solid, that is enough. As you find sort of purchase on the wall, your hand just clasps onto the top, and you manage to pull yourself over and then sort of tumble down to the other side.
Okay, actually, if possible, I'd like to pause at the top to try to reach out for Styx to help him up.
Absolutely, good point. So Styx, same thing. You can go ahead and make a strength athletics check with advantage.
All right, I'm just going to go with the first one I got. How about 23?
Oh yeah, he's like the strong dwarf. You sort of forearm clasp, and he practically hauls you up, and your feet barely touch the wall as you go over the top.
Sweet.
I imagine like Doc is laying on his stomach across the wall, like like a dog or a rag doll, just little legs on the other side.
Just kicking.
Oh yeah, totally. There's nothing but like just
stubby dwarf legs.
Yeah.
All right,
exactly what I was thinking.
All right, so you managed to help each other up and over the wall into the yard. So yeah, you can see sort of above the main entrance of the mansion, there's a large balcony with a iron railing above it. It's sort of like 20 feet up above the air, although you could climb presumably up the brick walls of the mansion.
Where's Emmeline at this time?
Yeah, so here's the thing. As you guys are all out in the yard, and this person was thrown and then healed, and he's sort of coming to and looking at Dahlia with this look on his face like, saved me. You hear a barking sound.
Oh, great.
And you see two shadowy mastiffs sort of charging across the lawn towards you, followed by a shadowy humanoid finger who is pointing, and you hear this wavering thin voice of intruders, and I need you all to roll initiative.
Oh no.
No good deed goes unpunished.
All right.
16.
15.
Okay, just 1 second. Doc and Dahlia.
6.
6 for Dahlia. And for your ally. Okay, so Doc, you are the first person to go.
What? Okay.
You're all warmed up from that wall climb.
No joke.
Yeah, you're standing there, and yeah, you see these shadowy creatures running towards you. And by shadowy, I mean like not cast in shadow, not running through shadowy, not obscured by shadow. As they draw closer, they literally look like they are made of shadow.
Okay. Made of shadow.
Yeah.
Okay. So, God,
What do you do, Doc?
that is a great question. Okay, so let's go ahead and try to do. Would whole person work on the shadowy figure, or is that too obscure?
You can try.
You can certainly try.
Okay, I'm gonna try to do hold person on the like the shadowy figure.
Okay.
The wisdom save of 13.
Yeah,
If it
so
even works.
yeah, so you cast it and nothing happens.
Cool.
You sort
I'll
of
go ahead.
you get the impression as you make a religion check as you kind of
Okay.
feel the resonance of your unanswered prayer.
That is a 16.
Yeah, so as your sort of spell fails to take hold, you can feel the cold, just utter emptiness of this creature, as it is not a living humanoid, it is undead.
Okay. It's undead. Okay. So that was the action. Let me go ahead and I'll use my movement to get towards Dahlia at least. Start moving that way.
Okay,
And
perfect.
kind of yell over my shoulder and relay that, or I guess relay that information to Styx, as well as like, they're undead. Have fun.
Okay,
Plugging
perfect.
away.
Perfect. And with that, it is Styx's turn.
All right. I'm going to close the distance. All right. And try to attack. Is one of the Mastiff out in front more than the other?
Yeah, sure.
All right. I'm going to try to attack the first one. All right. Double
Okay.
strike. 17.
17 hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
All right. $11 points of damage.
Okay.
All right, and I'm also going to use Action Surge, which I can use once.
Yep.
All right, and I'm going to go ahead and take another attack.
Okay.
21.
Yep.
Um, 10 points of damage.
Okay, so you kind of unleash this flurry of, basically that rapid stick fighting, just like ripping through.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like going through almost smoke that's a little bit more solid, sort of tearing through, trailing bits of shadowy substance as it goes through. You definitely get the impression that, it is doing something, but it does not have the same effect as it would on a, more substantial a more corporeal creature.
Man.
And then it is their turn. All right, so the Mastiff that you are attacking, Styx, attacks you, and that's not gonna hit because that's a 10.
Missed barely.
Yeah, and so the other Mastiff sort of charges into you because it comes behind its buddy. And that is a dirty 20. So I believe that is going to hit. That does 9 points of necrotic damage. and your strength score is reduced by 3.
Oh, shoot. That puts me down to a 14.
Yeah, so you can in D&D Beyond, you can actually, like reduce it, and so it'll get factored into all of your rolls.
Okay.
And the one sort of the humanoid who's in behind just moves and gets kind of closer, headed towards you guys, but does not get within range. The Dahlia, the guy you've healed, sort of scrambles up and kind of fumbles around and pulls out a crossbow that he had sort of, holstered in behind on his back and sort of like loads it. And he's just like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. And he fires at one of the mastiffs that is on 6 and hits. So he does some more damage to the injured mastiff, and then is like reloading the crossbow again. And then it is Dahlia's turn.
I'm gonna scramble up as well, and I think I can see like the effect of like sticks dragging his weapons through these
Absolutely
somewhat corporeal figures. And I'm not really sure what to do in response to that, but I'm gonna go ahead and towards the figure, humanoid figure. I'm just gonna look at them and start muttering under my breath again. And this discordant melody travels to
Oh, excellent.
do I have to? Oh, they have to make the thing, right? So they have to
Dissonant
make
Whispers.
a wisdom saving throw.
And that's an 11, so I believe that is going to fail.
Yes, it does. So, I'm casting it at 2nd level, by the way.
Okay.
Ooh, I rolled good as hell. Holy shit! I rolled super good. I rolled all 6s. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So that's 18, I think. So, yeah, 18 points of damage.
Of psychic damage?
Psychic damage.
Okay.
And it has to use, it must immediately use its reaction, if available, to move as far as its speed allows away from me.
It would move away from you, except when, oh no, you're going to like this. So when your discordant melody sort of ripples out sort of over the landscape and people can just hear and it sort of rises into a bit of crescendo as he, like the shadowy figure pauses and like clutches at its, shadowy head with its hands and starts ripping its own head apart and then begins to just demolish itself into wisps of shadow that then like just kind of float out around and disappear.
After that, I'm going to turn around and look at Doc and say, oh God, why do I suck at this so bad? I'm going to say, hurry up and pray to your gods if you don't want to end up like those things. Something else inspiring, and you get the word of inspiration.
I can just imagine the bardic inspiration becoming like when the teacher talks in Charlie Brown, and you just hear inspiring speech.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. So you get that D6 for the next 10 minutes. You can add it to one ability check, attack roll, or saving throw. You can add it after seeing the roll, but before knowing the outcome.
Okay. And yeah, so the guy you helped kind of looks at you again with just like this like half smirk on his face of kind of like admiration as he like rams the crossbow bolt like home and locks it in preparation for his next turn. And he just goes, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I want to hear what he says.
Okay. And he just kind of winks at you a little bit, and he goes, reinforcements from Erstal? Trying to get him out. Goddamn Growlins betrayed us, stabbed us in the back.
Just look at him kind of perplexed. But I have to say that the sweat glistening on my brow really sets off my eyes.
He likes competence. Doc.
Okay, yeah. With that revelation and the inspiration from Dahlia, I'm gonna go ahead and snap out of it and go ahead and turn undead the one mastiff that Styx isn't engaged with.
Okay, perfect.
Doesn't turn I thought turn undead like it's like multiple creatures.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, it's like everything within probably 60.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought I wasn't sure if it was one target or not. It was.
I think it's like a whoever can see you.
A range.
Yeah.
I think it is a range. It's like a
Yeah.
range.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, each undead that can see or hear you within 30 feet of you must make a wisdom saving throw at 13.
Okay. And is there any I know what, like for destroy undead and stuff, there's limitations on the CR of the creature, but I think for standard turn undead, it's all of them. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so if they fail,
And so both of the mastiffs fail. So I think they have to spend their full turn basically running away from you. And so they do. And one of them critically failed. So actually, when it turns to run, it sort of takes a couple of strides, and you see sort of shadow from on the lawn from one of the trees kind of rise up in these like shadowy tendrils, like wrap around it and suck it into the shadow, and it sort of just like vanishes. And then the other one sort of howls and runs away, you know, basically like jumps up over the 12-foot wall out onto the street and beelines away from you. And you hear like screams.
Oh, hey, Dan, would I have gotten a attack of opportunity on the one that was
Absolutely.
okay?
Absolutely.
Uh, 15.
Yes, absolutely, that hits.
Uh, 9 points.
Okay, so yeah, so that's the one that basically crit failed. So yeah, it's basically as it's getting sort of sucked away, your stick kind of like slashes through its rump, and it sort of starts dissolving and dissipating as it's then like greedily sucked away into shadow. You can
Insult to
faintly hear
injury.
yeah, you can faintly hear this like slurping sound almost as it gets
All right.
pulled away. All right. So they are done with. So as you kind of collect, you know, your collective bearings, and your new friend introduces himself, you need a name. His name is Ozzy. That was one of the names suggested for a grumble goblin earlier, so we will appropriate it for your new friend. As he is like loading his crossbow sticks, you can see the emblem of a black winged snake tattooed on his forearm as he's loading a crossbow.
Hey, Zent, what's up?
And he looks over at you and just says, "Friends of Floxens."
Neutral
Flux?
party.
Who's Floxen again? Is that
You
Dabble
might-
or
No.
That's not what Okay.
No. And I don't think you have heard the name.
Okay. Then I'm just as clueless as Dolly. I'm like
But I think Styx and Doc can make intelligence checks and see if they have heard the name in their travels.
Okay, just making sure on the bardic inspiration it's before or after the roll.
Yes.
it's you can use it after you've seen the result, but before you know what the outcome is.
Okay.
So when you see the number, but before you know,
Cool.
what it yields.
Not Jesus, I got a 1 on the bardic inspiration, so that brings me to like a 4.
Oh.
I don't know who the Hell
I
No.
got an 18.
Okay.
Six does.
So, Styx, you know that Urstul Floxen is a high-ranking member of the Zentarum. Not the Doom Raiders, but the Zentarum, who the Doom... Davil is one of the Doom Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of, we'll consider them the quote-unquote good Zentarum.
Wait, which one's the good one?
Like
Sorry.
the Doom Raiders, like Davil's
Okay.
group
Yeah.
of like former adventurers and that sort of thing. They're they're still crooks and criminals,
Right.
Yeah.
but they're a little
this is-
less outright evil.
Yeah, so this is Zentarum proper. Okay.
The
Right.
Zentarum, who is it public knowledge who runs the Zentarum? Well, to
I thought
you
that
guys,
was-
maybe.
It would be to me.
Yeah, that Manchun runs. Which is why Davil and the Doom Raiders have split off, because they don't like that Manchun has reclaimed influence over the Zentarum.
Oh,
Because Manchun's an asshole.
Yeah.
yeah, he is. Yes. So we played Koi. All right.
I'm
Sticks.
all right. All right. Would I have some type of like a medallion or something like that to show them kind of like a neutral party kind of deal? Because I work for pretty much everybody.
Maybe. Sure.
Okay.
Some sort of
right.
marker that's like independent contractors.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just kind of show him. I just kind of show him the coin, so he knows. All right, neutral party. All right. So, what's up?
Right now, the goddamn war in there. And he's like kind of striding back towards the house.
I'm gonna put a hand on his shoulder.
Yeah.
You almost died.
I gotta do.
What is it you have to do?
Gotta get Floxen out. Growlins have betrayed us over that goddamn stone.
What stone?
I don't know much about it. Some stone of galore, magic artifact, supposedly gonna unlock. And he like sort of, it's like the action movie where he's cocked the gun about 5 times now for dramatic effect.
Punctuate his sentences.
Yeah, to punctuate his sentences. And he just says, supposed to lead us to riches undreamed of. 500,000 gold, I hear.
Floxen is inside the
What?
building.
Yeah.
Fluin had told us about the stone, just
Yeah.
so you guys are aware.
Yeah, you have heard of this before. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The stone of Galar was recently stolen
I look at
from the
Styx and Doc.
Xanathar.
And they think it's in here.
Yeah.
I turn and look at Styx and Doc and drop my hand from his shoulder. Just kind of shrug mine.
I'm gonna drop him when he's not looking. I'm gonna drop him. I'm gonna try to incapacitate him with a shot. I don't want him in there.
Holy shit! But as
So so you're going to like knock him out.
Yeah.
the
Just
moment
nice
before,
thud on the back of the head.
I'm just gonna
Oh,
snap
so
him on
Dol-
the back of the head.
Dahlia?
like the moment before Styx like goes to thwack him, I look at the both of you. I just shrug my shoulders and say, "I don't care if Floxen dies," and I just start walking off.
That poor
back towards
bastard
the
didn't
wall.
know what that was in regards to.
Yeah. Yeah, so totally yeah, go ahead, Styx, and make a roll there. With advantage.
With advantage. Okay.
You're clocking an ally in the back of the head, so
All right. How about 19?
absolutely. So
Jesus.
so you basically like just crack him in the head and he goes down like a sack of potatoes.
All right. I look at Doc. Time up.
All right.
I turn around and look at Styx. I wasted magic on him for you to do that?
I didn't kill him.
In the not so distance, but like presumably down the street somewhere, you hear the whistles of the City Watch.
we need to go. We gotta go. I do not want to be caught here. I don't want to die in jail.
We were never here. And I'm guessing there's windows on the first floor.
There are, yep.
Okay, I look at Sticks and like, let's toss him back in and then get the hell out of here.
So you're gonna like just carry him forward and like pitch him head first
Oh
into
hell
the.
yeah, he's gonna go back in. Like he came out the second floor, he's gonna go back in the first, tied up.
Can we see through the windows? Like, are the curtains drawn?
Oh yeah, I guess
The curtains are actually closed. You can see a bit of light coming through, around the edges, but the curtains are all drawn closed.
I'm gonna take off immediately towards the back of this like gated estate or whatever, just to see if there's any other escape routes for us to take.
Yeah, so there would be, sort of in between. Kind of the building goes right to the back wall, but there would be a place where you could get. Oh, let me just move Dahlia and.
I'm Sticks.
Move you guys.
You're muted.
We're all traveling. They'll never catch us alive. They don't know who's who.
Yeah. All right. So I guys have you back. So yes, you find sort of like the wall at the back of the estate, which goes out onto another street.
Oh well, hell.
Might be an alley. Let me just double check here. Got this wonderful map.
Nice.
It does, yes. So it goes out onto like sort of a little side street that runs between Sayre Dune and Horn Street.
I'm gonna stand there and wait for Docs and Sticks. Docs and Sticks. Jesus, look what you've done to me. Wait for Doc and Sticks to finish whatever it was that they wanted to do with the body. That way I can help maybe pitch him over or something.
Okay. You cool with tossing back in, Sticks?
I'm going to search him real quick and see what he's got on him.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, go ahead and give me a investigation check.
How about an 8?
Okay. You're searching around and, patting him down. You find some odd bits of coin here and there, like 10 copper, 20 silver, 5 gold pieces that are stashed around. And his, crossbow quivers and that sort of thing, but otherwise not much on him.
I'm going to take the 5 gold and leave all the rest of the change.
Okay. Look at you, Richie Rich. Okay. So if you guys are going out over the back wall, I need dexterity athletics checks. Strength athletics checks.
Mind if we toss him back in real fast?
Oh yeah, no, I assumed that you guys did that. Pitch him through.
Yeah.
Just for giggles, to make sure he flew straight and narrow, I cast guidance as we're throwing on.
There you go. Thank you.
Perfect.
I'm gonna try to, because I'm guessing I'm, if not the tallest, at least as tall as Sticks.
Yeah, 100%.
So I'm going to offer to like have my hand there to help people make their way up.
Okay.
How tall are you now?
Dahlia's height does not change with their appearance, but they are like 5'11", 6 feet.
Okay. Yeah. I'm a little bit taller than you, but not much. So we can help the dwarf over pretty easy.
That's true. We could. Yeah.
Yeah. So between the two of you, then Doc doesn't even have to make a check. You basically just like boost them over.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Sweet. Okay.
And you guys can, help each other sort of over, so you can make with advantage.
Okay.
Checks.
Strength athletics checks.
All right. With my new strength, I had a 12 on mine.
Okay. So just barely over. You're like scrambling and you manage to claw your way over.
All right. I'm going to reach down and help Dahlia over.
That's an 8 from me.
Okay. So yeah, you're pulling and pulling and pulling, and it basically just ends up taking extra time. So Dahlia, like as you're kind of pulling over the wall, Styx as you're pulling Dahlia over, you can see the front gates sort of just get blasted open, and like a whole squad of the city watch sort of like rushing into the compound just as you like pull her over.
Whoo!
I'm going to use prestidigitation on all of us to remove any signs of combat or anything.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, excellent. So, are you guys? I guess is your plan to head back
Yes.
somehow to Trollskull Alley?
Yeah, we need
Trollskull
to
Manor.
go back. Take the back way.
Yes.
The long about way.
So you're going to take a circuitous route. Are you
Yes.
going to maximize speed or stealthiness?
Stealthiness. Everybody okay with that? Because I don't want to get caught by the watch.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Dahlia's going to follow you guys' lead for sure. So
Okay.
stealthy McStealthington it is.
All right.
And I'm going to use my
In fact, I
fabric.
suggest we act like we're kind of been drinking a little bit.
I'm going to use my fabric of many fashions too to help conceal me a little bit more.
Okay.
Like create like a hooded, what is it called? Not the long cloaks, but the short ones.
A
You know.
shawl or something, or
Oh, yeah, like sort of like the half
shawl?
cloaks kind of thing.
Yeah, not a shawl, but yeah, like a half cloak thing, but it has a hood on it.
Yeah. Like Lando Calrissians, like they come to like your middle of your back.
Oh
kind of
fuck
thing.
yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
ah,
Is it super flashy, like purple?
It's not purple. It's
Light blue.
it's
with
leather,
gold trim.
baby. The whole fucking thing is leather.
she's going straight goth.
Perfect. I like it. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since I'm,
Okay.
trumping around in my chainmail, I'm going to go ahead and like cast guidance to try to like make a little more sure-footedness on my part.
Okay. Perfect. So I am gonna get each of you to
Hold
make.
on! Before
Oh, sorry. Yep.
before that happened, I put hands on both. I put a hand on Styx, and I say, "Thank you for helping me get up over that wall. I hope I can help you get over a wall one day too." And that's my bardic inspiration, whatever. So take your d6, and then I'm just gonna think to myself of the good times, and then that's my d6.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
Cool.
Doc, you've got your guidance. So.
All right.
So yeah. Well, so I'm gonna get each of you to give me a check for getting back. This is sort of more like a bit of a skill challenge. So you describe to me how you're contributing, and it can be any skill you want. And so just describe to me kind of what you're doing and what skill you're using. Let's start with you, Dahlia.
I am I'm going to keep an eye out for the watch.
Okay.
And if I see any watch members, and if they get maybe like a little too close or seem like they might be wanting to come to ask us for questioning, I'm gonna oh no, this is so stupid. I'm going to try to engage them in a depressingly charming kind of way.
All right, perfect, excellent. So what skill are you using?
That would be Jesus. That doesn't really make sense in this situation. I have a +7 to persuasion checks. But that I don't think that makes sense. It would probably be performance, because I'm intentionally trying to either act really I'm either trying to be flirtatious
Mhm.
or just walk in a way that's really eye-catching, especially now that I have this leather thing on. Or like, flip my hair behind my shoulders, in a certain kind of way. Just something to draw attention to myself. I think
Perfect.
That's for this.
Perfect. I'm sold. Go ahead and give me that performance check.
Okay, let's not roll like shit. Yes, okay. Let's see. 21.
Perfect. Great. Excellent. All right, Doc, what about you?
You know, I actually kind of want to like do the whole hiding in plain sight and just start spouting off medical jargon and like almost trying to bore Styx and Dahlia to tears, just like going on and on. Like I'm completely oblivious to what's going on around me, and just spouting off like medical stuff and use a medicine check. Or,
Okay. Absolutely. I'm sold. I like it. I dig it.
just trying to play it coy, like over talking almost.
Yep.
Oh, and that's such a good reason why I took that with a +5 to medicine. That's 11.
Okay. All right. That is good. All right. And what about you, Styx?
Styx is going to end up being the overly boisterous drunk and talking loud and kind of not really paying attention to Doc. And I'm going to use my deception on that one.
Okay.
And that's a big whopping 8.
Okay.
Wait, don't forget you have your D6.
Oh, yeah.
That could get you over 10.
Yeah,
14.
and
Yes.
Okay.
And if it helps, I did have that guidance, and I rolled a 3 on that.
Okay.
So
Perfect.
that's a 14.
All right. Okay. So you taking a circuitous route, making your way back. You notice sort of, in behind you, you saw kind of flying across the sky 2 griffins, like beelining in and then like circling around over the villa.
They called in air support.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
But you took the circuitous route home all the way around, talked to like some guards, but like, on very other sort of more distant parts of the ward, looking like you were coming from a different direction, all of that sort of thing. And finally make it home. You clomp up the steps and open the door. And in the middle of your tavern, currently being served by the Grumble, booted feet up on the table, and then giving you a bit of a sardonic smile as you come in, and he says, "Well, about time you showed up. Is Davil Starsong."
I knew it.
Holy shit. Okay. Do we
My
have a
eyes
story to
narrow at
tell
him.
him?
Apple, what's up?
Well,
That's the man we wanted to see.
I must say I was rather pleased with your delivery earlier, though I am somewhat troubled by this Leuston fellow's presence. Taking it you didn't know.
No, just a dark elf to us.
Shit.
Have you ever heard of the Bregan Darth?
Would docs have known about this?
Make an intelligence check.
Yeah, I guess I need to too. Well,
That's an 11.
I got a dirty 20.
So, Styx, you know that the Bregan Darth is a band of male drow exiles and outcasts who sell themselves as mercenaries and adventurers and swashbucklers.
Oh, I don't like the sounds of this.
You didn't either as soon as I heard it. So.
And the name you have heard as their leader is a particularly roguish drow by the name of Jarlaxle Bainray.
Oh no!
Okay,
The
cool.
hat himself.
And so Davil sort of leans forward and goes, find myself in a bit of a predicament. You see, Salustan is a right hand Jarlaxle.
Yeah.
The look on Styx's face is like, all right, there goes a bunch of contracts right now.
So question, because I only know about Jarlaxle with the release of Waterdeep. I'm not like a, Forgotten Realms lore master. Does every person know about Jarlaxle, or how does that go?
Probably not.
Okay.
I honestly also not aware. So my personal interpretation is going to be he's not unknown. He's probably somewhat famous because he's been in lots of adventures. Let's call him, his approach to the law is a little bit shades of gray. He's not a hero. He's more of an anti-hero. He's not necessarily a villain. He's not necessarily a hero. He has both helped and hindered Dritsteward, so his name gets around. But it probably depends on where you fall in the the power structures of the realms on how much information you have. So probably regular people would recognize the name a little bit, but not necessarily know a whole lot about him.
Why do we care if he's the right-hand man of Jarlaxle?
Well, I've got one gang war on my hands. Really don't want to court Bregendarth.
Okay.
Really would prefer not to have trouble with Jarlaxle.
You asked us to deal with this guy, so why is it our problem?
Not your problem. I just came as a bit of a courtesy.
Mm-hmm.
You did take this job on my behest, although I must say, without join my organization. Fact with I am still hurt.
Uh-huh.
Well, let me see if I can soften that blow. Styx and I have been talking, and whereas he needs to be an impartial party to all this, cleaning crew and all that, if it's still all right by you, you and I can exchange words on his behalf.
Davil just sort of nods and says, well, I would have preferred to have more, but I suppose the good doctor will.
I look at Doc. You're going to join with him?
It's a means to an end, and it never hurts to have friends.
And he sort of punctuates this by pulling out a small pouch, which he flips onto the table with a very solid, jangly thunk.
Appreciate that. And we'll just go ahead.
Services rendered.
I'll just pocket that, not even acknowledging. I feel like everything's square, even though this is, of course, a shady deal. But
I'm going to drop a little bit of information on him too, just so you know. We happened to walk by a little bit of an altercation, and I kind of point in the general direction of where the villa was, and it said,
"Okay."
And you probably heard the blast from the watch. That was your counterparts. They were.
Oh.
So we happened to see one. I saw the tap. I saw the ink.
Whereabouts was this?
What was the name of the
Growlhund Villa.
Yeah, Growlhund Villa.
He nods. He goes, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
The Growlhunds have been, from what I understand, allied with Floxen and his Zentarum faction for some time. funneling money into some operation of his intended to, well, I heard about your trouble here earlier this evening. From what my little birdies tell me, other Zentarum were in the business of looking for Lord Neverember's hidden vault of 500,000 dragons.
Wait, that's real?
I don't think there would be this much blood on the streets over this stone if it wasn't.
Huh.
People have killed each other for dumber things, so that's not the best sign to follow that it's true.
True. But from what I heard, the stone was in the hands of the Xanathar, stolen, and this money that bankrolled this operation of Floxen's was behind the little snatching of your friend Renier Neverember. Pride and joy.
Interesting.
I want to do an insight check. It's like,
Absolutely.
I just remember those exist because of Alex's comment. Yeah, I keep forgetting I can do
Tension.
insight.
Broken.
Go ahead. Absolutely.
I narrow my eyes and give him a hard look. Okay, rolling like shit continues. Thank God I have a good insight score. Oh man, it's just a 13.
He seems like he's being dishonest. I mean, he seems like the kind of person who never tells the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God, or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But he does seem like the information he is giving you is legit.
Earlier, I wanted to cast Detect Thoughts on him, but they know when you do that, so I was like, oh, okay, never mind.
Want to go ahead and share with him what Barnabas had mentioned this morning about why he would think we were tied to the Xanathar with the gnome that was heading towards
The Zentarum, you mean?
Xantarum, yeah.
Yeah,
Zentarum.
Barnabas mentioned your affiliation with the Zentarum. Davil just shrugs and sort of says, well, both done enough business with me over the years. Not entirely surprising that you'd be on someone's radar.
This is true.
You must understand, of course, not everyone associated with my organization engages in criminal activity.
Mm-hmm. Just making sure that you didn't lose an ally on his way here.
No, I didn't have anyone sent.
Okay.
Since I heard the news, I thought it best to do a little digging. All I know is that gnome in question, when I paid some bribes to the right people, is that gnome's name was Dalakar. It was apparently, the watch called in some of your persuasion and sort of gestures to Doc and kind of reaches out and taps kind of arrogantly on your holy symbol. A few people came in and spoke with the departed. Apparently this Dalakar was on his way to you, but was chased. He had heard about your rescue of the young Lord Neverember. This Dalakar fellow was apparently trying to get the stone out to, Lord Neverember Sr. Thought, well, if he couldn't get it out because he was being chased by the other Zentarum faction, maybe someone who knew his son. That's apparently why he was headed your way.
You said to get the stone. What was that?
Well, Dalakar was an agent of the senior Lord Neverember. The Lord of Neverwinter, who's embezzled all of this fine funds that he hid.
Right.
Dalakar was working for him. But Dalakar wasn't able to get out of the city. The Zentarum were hot on his trail. So he was coming to you, hoping that perhaps you could get the stone to Renier.
Okay. Those what you found in the bag sticks may have been the payoff. So that's unfortunate. He shouldn't have died that way.
Yep.
No, but he was working for, as someone who has pilfered many a coin myself, a right.
Everybody dies eventually.
Working for Neverember, maybe not Renier, but for his father is ill-advised.
What's the stone supposed to do?
Apparently the stone will show the way. Alt.
Have you seen it?
Have not. Hasn't been in my possession or the possession of my underlings. Although I'm not going to lie, if you obtain it, well, I would be most appreciative to anyone who turned it over or helped me gain it, because 500,000 dragons is nothing to sneak at.
What would you
No.
do with 500,000 dragons?
Invested wisely. I am the master of opportunities.
That's
What
not
are
the ask
some-
question.
What are some of your opportunities?
Oh, we invest heavily in the mercenary trade, selling arms, weapons, mercenaries. A lot of conflict over the Sword Coast. It's a good way to get rich.
Sounds like you're a merchant in death.
Well, I like to think of myself as a equalizer in the conflicts and struggles of the Sword Coast.
Takes a
But-
big ego to think that.
Well deserved. Didn't come by this position lightly, but that is neither here nor there. I am glad that we are now better friends, Doc, than we were. Styx, Dahlia, I wish you all the best in your endeavors. I'm sure there is going to be plenty to clean up in this city, and I'm trying as hard as I can to keep my people out of it. I suggest you lay low for a while. The City Watch showed up and finds out that this dust up between the Zentarum and a noble family of Waterdeep, one associated with us, regardless of which faction they serve, going to be suspicious. Under suspicion.
True.
Yeah. We appreciate that. And
If I find anything else out, I will be sure to let you know.
really
Thank
do
you.
appreciate that. And just if you prefer to leave here unseen, we do have another means. And
he sort of is smirking as you say that, and he kind of winks and sort of picks up a donut and takes a bite. Compliments to your goblins, by the way, and how do you think that I got in this place?
I figured, but I would extend the an actual invitation to use that route.
Appreciated.
So,
And he kind of like makes his way over towards the, and as you pop over, like the trapdoors open in behind the bar. Sort of disappears and he goes, I really mean it. Compliments to the cooks on the donuts.
Okay, bye.
we gotta let Dank know that word is spreading fast.
Thanks,
I think-
donuts.
Dank's donuts.
I think Dink can get a better clientele than that guy.
Dank and donuts.
Okay. So with that, Davil disappears. And that is where we are going to leave it for the evening.
Oh
All right.
Doc's getting tied up into some shit.
Indeed. Thank you, everyone who turned
Thank
in.
you.
Thanks for watching. It was lovely. Everyone was very active in chat. There was many more great names, which I will try and remember for members of the Grumble. I realized that we did not name any goblins, but you named a Zentarum. So, hey, isn't that just
It's like
as
two
good?
goblins.
Yes, so thanks everyone for tuning in. We are the Autumn Crew. We are one of 4 streams here on Variant Roles running Waterdeep Dragon Heist. You can tune in on typically Mondays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays with all of our crews. I just want to let you know that next week we will not be here at the exact same time, given that Thursday is Thanksgiving for all you fine American friends of ours. Not a holiday for me, sadly. But most of our players will, of course, be doing things with friends and family for the holiday. So we are going to be one night earlier. So Wednesday next week, but at the same time, so at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we will be here on Variant Roles streaming. That's right, Corey, in chat. Us fine Canadians already did have our Thanksgiving.
And you've got legal weed, blah, blah, blah.
And we've got legal weed and, socialized medicine. And anyway, I won't
keep rubbing it in.
Yep. Just keep, yep,
Whatever,
you guys have
you're north of the wall, it's fine.
But you have 10 times the population and way more GDP. So, you win some, you lose some. So next Wednesday. You can tune in tomorrow night here at 8:30 Eastern Friday as Taryn Nosey runs us through with the Summer Crew, which is always highly entertaining to watch. I definitely recommend tuning in. And then on Saturday, DM Corey will be running through the Spring Crew at 12:30 p.m. Eastern and running through your fine Saturday afternoon. And of course, you can check us out as we start week 8 with Eugenio Vargas on Monday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern with the Winter Crew. So we thank everyone for tuning in, and we'll go around and find out everyone's favorite moments.
Mm-hmm.
So, Knox, what about you?
My favorite moment was not going in that house.
Good call.
That seemed like a big decision tree right there. Like, go in or don't.
Yeah,
That was my
They
favorite
didn't have
part.
the
Not going in.
copters. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mine too. It's a whole map, rooms, lots of stuff going on.
Is it really?
No.
So I was also happy that you didn't.
I want to go back and see like winter's already happened, so they've already had this opportunity. So I want to go back and see what they did, and then I want to see what the rest of the teams do. Will they go in the house?
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's one of the great things that we are sticking to a bit of a schedule, and we're all kind of doing our own thing with the book. But you can see, especially early on, different crews' takes on roughly the same place. We've stayed roughly in the same place every week between our 4 streams. Yes, this is Ella. She decided she needed attention.
Aw, sweet kitty.
Matt, what about you? What was your favorite moment?
Oh, my favorite moment was actually being able to roll tonight. That was my favorite moment.
Yeah.
I was like,
Killing
I've never
it.
rolled
All
this
those
well in a
dirty
long time. I was like, man, this is cool. So, but I guess our interaction at the end when we walked back into AD&D, and we had, the guy that we were looking for sitting there waiting on us. That was
right. Super convenient.
Yeah,
Oof.
that was what a coincidence.
Yeah, no, that was.
And now I'm ready for a long rest because I've gotten beat to hell.
yeah, you get the strength drain of a shadow.
Yeah. By the way, did that wear off with a long rest?
It will wear off with a long rest. Yeah.
All right.
And Ryan, what about you?
Man, every time we do a montage, I can't get that song out of my head from Team America. And so, like, just having all of us doing our different things. And in my mind, I had, like, Styx is doing something serious, engaging in conversation, and Knox is over here in books and turning, and Doc is just wandering outside with this, like, weird-looking wand thing, just, like, waving at people, just like trying not to.
That reminds me of that montage from several montages from Family Guy.
Yeah, it comes back like the lasers are shooting and everything, and Doc's like, yeah, it's over there. So the montage, and then that exchange at the end was pretty good.
Excellent. Glad you enjoyed that. My favorite moment by far was Dahlia face stepping to catch the guy who was in the process of being defenestrated. And also, anytime I can use fenestrated on stream, because it is such a good word. But yeah, no, Dahlia, like, just kind of, especially like Winter Dahlia, like that was such a snap decision from Winter Dahlia to do that. And I thought that was great. I really liked it. It was good, like, characterization. It like moved the plot. It was.
I'm telling you guys, trying to balance out wanting to play and these fucking seasons.
Having these mood swings.
It's so hard.
You're killing it. You're doing great. They each have like a distinct personality.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm totally cheating and using the traits from for Eladrin. And one of them, the character flaws is you don't make any decisions. You just do what other people tell you. So I'm like, well, fuck. That's why I was like, Styx, tell me to give him the money. I will do it.
Tell me.
Yeah, because otherwise it's just like, okay, I guess I'll do this thing.
I like it. Perfect. For people, where else we can find you, things you're doing on the internet over the next couple of weeks. I am only here, of course, is the only place I am streaming at the moment.
We're really getting into the end part of season 1 for Red Hand Roleplay, where we're actually trying to find out how we're going to raise our fallen cleric by making a pact with hags.
Perfect.
No.
Nothing ever goes wrong. I love hags.
That's a foolproof plan.
As a DM.
Yeah, there's no sacrifices or skill checks that Goliaths just suck at, you know?
It's not going to come bite you in the ass later.
Of course not. We didn't raise any evil or fight a necromancer or anything like that. No. So
Perfect.
Anyways, that's where you can find me.
Excellent. And Knox.
You can find me on the Twitters at NoxNoctua, where I tweet about my life and games and whatever I want. So again, you can find me there, especially tomorrow, tweeting my panic as I board a plane in preparation for a 2-hour flight to Seattle and back home on Sunday. But on the streaming internets, every Tuesday I'm playing an Adventurers League game where I play a warlock multi-class with a fighter. As we're playing through Tomb of Annihilation over on Naris's channel. That's every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Mountain Time. And then obviously here every Thursday. And that's it for this week.
Perfect. Excellent. All right. So yes, thanks everyone once again for tuning in. Follow if you don't already, although I'm sure most of you do. You can subscribe if you subscribe. And we also have a Patreon down below to help us do more of this and expand and get art and, all that fun stuff as we start moving into the back half end game of this. Yes, that's right, Ryan. Catch up on the YouTube, where you can find us as well, which is not /channel/variant roles. It's like some abhorrent string of stuff. But if you Google YouTube variant roles, you can find us. We haven't yet got enough followers or whatever to get our custom URL. So soon. And yes, so as we move into sort of the back bit of Dragon Heist, moving into the end game, and stay tuned for future things that we will be plotting and planning away. So thanks everyone, and we will see you next week on Wednesday. Bye.
See you, y'all.